Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today just going over some things. We've gone over this before, but I wanted to share some of the resources again, show you a little bit about how to use them as we get ready to start back into chapter 11, which should be getting started with that next Sunday, and beginning with the review and then looking at the exercises, tall tales, etc. for chapter 11. But we're beginning something new with imperfect verbs. So you'll be learning a new set of endings and beginnings, prefixes and suffixes that you'll have to learn. And with that, I again encourage you to use the resources that are available to you. One of those resources is Quizlet, and there's a link for this section of Quizlet in the description page for each of the classes. So this is probably the main resource that I would encourage you to use as we continue. So I wanted to go over this with you. Again, the link that you have would take you to essentially to this page, First Hebrew Primer 2025, Averna Hebrew Yeshiva. And it will show you all of the flashcard sets and other sets that are available to you on Quizlet. Now, here's the easy way. So we're starting chapter 11. If you want chapter 10 to review in chapter 10, we've got a lot of review items in chapter 10. All irregular nouns, we have all prepositions, adjectives, adverbs, we have all singular nouns, all verb conjugations. Again, this is all through chapter 10. But then going to 11, so this is the filter, and you can, without the filter, you can still scroll through and see all of the classes that we have in here. You're certainly welcome to do it that way, but the easiest, quickest way is to, if you're wanting to see what we have for chapter 11, then just type in 11 in the filter, and it will show you everything. Since this is the way I've named them, is with 11a, 11b, 11c, etc. So you can see for chapter 11, we have the vocabulary up there, we have the review, we have prefixes and suffixes. So these are the main items that you'll see in every chapter. And then in addition to that, generally we'll have the oral review up here as a flashcard set. We'll have all of the exercises that we will do, as well as tall tales, and now the book of Ruth, as we continue with all of this in chapter 11. So this is again up on Quizlet. These are all flashcard sets. If you haven't used this before, really it's easy to use. There's no cost to you to set it up. If you have trouble, let me know. I'll help you walk through it. But so we have, just to show you then, let's go over the vocabulary for chapter 11. So we double click on this, and that opens up this screen with the chapter 11 vocabulary. So it begins with a set of flashcards, and in the flashcards, well, this one, let me get out of this real quick. Let's restart flashcards. Yours should come right to this page. So there are 17 flashcards in this particular set. Now, a couple of things, and there's probably a way, I don't know how to do it yet. In Quizlet, this is my biggest, not really a complaint, but it's just something that you have to work around. So I always like to encourage you to start with Hebrew in the main flashcard, the one that you're working with, because that's what you want to be able to recognize. So in order to change your first card from English to Hebrew, you would scroll down here to the settings, little gear shape here, where it says options. Click on that. And then where it says front, change it from English to Hebrew. And once you've done that, scroll down a little bit and restart your flashcards. And now it will show you the Hebrew. Now, generally speaking, when I put in the vocabulary, I'll put it in the same order that your book lists them. So if that's the way you want to start, that's fine. But at some point while you're practicing, just so that you're not doing, learning things by rote, and then if you don't have it in the same order, you lose it. Come over here to this symbol, which is the shuffle symbol, and shuffle it. And it'll say card shuffle is either off or you want to turn it on. Card shuffle is on. That means every time you start this now, you'll get a different first card in it. So a couple of other things that you can do here. First of all, in each card, if I have recorded the Hebrew, and I try and do it for almost everything, you'll see this speaker icon. If the speaker icon is there, it means that you can click on that and hear the pronunciation of the Hebrew. Okay, but like I say, that should be on all of them. It maybe I don't get to it right away, but most of the time it should be there. So that's the speaker. You want to then come down here, so you can just go through the cards and practice with it. Kesef, money, silver, dam, damim, dam, dame. And again, just like your book does, is what we have here in the vocab. Occasionally I'll add a few extra things in here, but basically this just copies what your book shows for the vocabulary for that particular chapter. So this, to remind you, this shows you the singular, this shows you the plural, this shows you the word pair form. Sometimes it's different, you'll see the voweling is different, but this makef is what indicates that this is the word pair form. This is the word pair form in the singular, and if there's anything unusual here, you'll see it also then in the plural. You won't have all four of these for every noun, because some of them are just regular, so that they don't require you to learn that separately. But where you do have irregulars, you'll get all four of these to memorize, to work with. So dam, damim, dam, dame. So the definition for that would be blood. And to see the definition, just click on the card, and it shows you what you have there for the definition. Now, the other thing that you can do, and this just works like the flashcards, like any flashcard set. If you want to take a little more time with it, you can click on this button, which is sort into piles. Okay, so what this does is, so let's go to the next card. And the way you do that here is, so if you've gotten this one right, dam is blood. Okay, so click on the green one. I know it. And that takes you to the next card. Yisrael. I know that one. Okay, but let's say I don't know this one. Beit Lechem. What is that? So I don't know it. I've tried, come up with a guess. I'm not sure if it's right. So even if you have to guess, even if you get it right, but if you have to guess, I would then click on the Still Learning button. Okay, then Naomi, Ad Olam, and forever, until forever, and Leolam Ba'ed, forever and ever. And then Patak is open, but let's say I didn't know that one, so let's click on that. Matzah's fine, didn't know that one, still working on my verbs. Leolam I knew, forever. Az, then or so. So I got that one. Im, but let's say this is if. Let's say I say this is when. And I look and say, oh, no, it's if and then. So I'm going to click that one into the X column. Cherev is sword. Kara, call or proclaim. Patak, open. And eitz, eitze, tree. And in the word pair form, plural, it would be etze, atze. So got that one right. So click that now. And then olam is universe, eternity. So get that one right. Now click on focus on 4 still learning cards. And that takes me here back to the 4 that I didn't know. So now you can kind of review those again. Patak. If you still don't know it, click on the X. But you know, let's say I got that one. Patak, open. I know that one. Im, if. Then matzah, to find. And then Bethlehem, Bethlehem. So I know those. Clicking on that. So now I've done all of that. I can restart the flashcards and go again, either without the piles or with the piles. Let's take that off. Now, so that's just the regular flashcard usage. And any flashcard set that I have up here, this is how you would use it. The next thing that you can do, if you have time, I mean, the main thing is just to go over your flashcards, your main set of flashcards. If you have time, and if you are really serious about learning, and have some perhaps troubles with remembering, then your other option is to come down here. This is another beautiful thing about Quizlet. They have games where you can play a blasting game. You can match. You can do categories. And then you can also do something called Learn. Okay, so let's click on Learn. And Learn gives you, again, probably a way, I don't know what it is. I would switch out definitions with the English, but that's all right. You can still use this. So now you're going to learn in the other way. You're going to have sword, and now you have to figure out what the Hebrew word for sword is. So you've got 4 choices. So let's say cherev, nice work. Israel, yes, okay, know that one. And then kesef, silver, money. But let's say instead of that, I choose cherev. Oops. All right, so it tells you you didn't get that one right, and you try again until you get it, choose the right one. So this is just another way to learn. It gives you, you can see some choices here that might make it easier for you to remember, okay, to write. Is it patak? Is it kara? Is it katav? Is it matzah? Okay, katav, yeah. So you can check yourself as you go. So that's the learn function. And like the flashcards, it'll show you the ones you didn't get, and you can go back through it. Now, the other option, after you've done learn and you feel pretty good about that, is you can go directly to test. And this is where you can set up your test, which is what I'm sure there's a way to do this in the learning function, but I don't know what that is. But in here, I would answer with the Hebrew. I would answer with English because it's just easier than if you've got a Hebrew keyboard, wonderful, you might want to choose this function. But since we're learning to read Hebrew, not to write it, I don't really care whether or not you know the vowels, and that's the problem with using this, your answers in Hebrew, is you might not get the vowels right, and therefore it might count your word as wrong, even though essentially you know what the word is. So I would choose English as for your answers, okay? And then you can, do I want true or false? Do I want multiple choice, matching, or written? So most people start with multiple choice. You can do each one of these as you're studying it. Written, again, if you use the English, written is pretty easy to do also. But it's a little tougher because you don't have anything matching to choose from. So, but let's just go with the matching, multiple choice, and then we start the test. Now, in the test mode, it's not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. So you choose as, let's say, if then, I think, im, if, then, if then, and the other was wrong, but let's choose if then here, patak, is to open. Eitz is tree, wood, etc. Israel, etc. Kara, to call or proclaim. So you're going to go through all 17 words, and then when you get done, it'll show you what you got right and what you got wrong. You can then choose to learn those that you got wrong and spend a little more time with those. So that's in the test mode. Again, another way that Quizlet lets you work with that. So then again, the games, if you want to do games, you have the game of Blast, which is kind of fun in a way. So you get ready here, and so you're trying to find blood. So you're going to find it, and then that one. I got it. All right, to write, katav. Whoops, whoa. Got to be faster than this. Eternity, universe, olam. If then, im. Whoops. Anyway, so you're going to keep doing that through all of them, and it will also keep track of what you got right. Well, it'll actually show you. So Bethlehem, I choose Naomi. It's red rather than green. Green says you win, you get it. Red says you didn't get it. So you can keep blasting. And this times it. There's different ways to deal with this program. So that's kind of a fun way to do it. Blocks, same kind of thing, where you're looking at, let's see, actually, let's try matching. So here you're matching terms with definitions. So Israel with Israel, then so with Oz, Kesef with silver money, Olam, eternity, universe, Im, if then, Naomi. So, and then you want to get your timing down is how this one works. All right, so those are some of the fun things that you can do with your Quizlet program. So let's go ahead and close out of that. So again, all of this is on the link on your description page. It'll take you to this page. You want to filter by title, and you want to filter in with whatever chapter it is that you're working with, and you can then do the different things that are here. So vocabulary, you can review the chapter, you can do prefixes and suffixes. Generally, you're not going to come to this page until we've reviewed the chapter, but you could certainly, even now, start on Chapter 11 vocabulary, begin learning your vocabulary. You can do that ahead of time. And you'll notice that there's also Chapter 12 is up here. All verb review. There's actually no new vocabulary words, but they just review the verbs. So we have an all verb review for Chapter 12. You can come in here for Chapter 13 and begin. Once you get Chapter 12 down, you want to start on 13 vocabulary, get ahead of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't do much more than that, but I would say if you wanted to focus on the vocabulary, as long as you're certain that you've got the previous chapter's vocabulary down, there's no problem with going ahead of it and getting all of this vocabulary as much memorized as you can. And then you will see from time to time, and I don't know if I have it in 13 yet or not. Let's see. Well, anyway, the exercises are also here for all of these chapters. I wouldn't go ahead, please, on the exercises. Stay with the chapter that we're on, but they are up here. The other thing that I will do from time to time, I did it in 10. I don't know that I've done it since 10. I'll probably try and do it in every other chapter. And that is to do a combination of all, like this one, all singular nouns, all of the nouns that we've had through Chapter 12, maybe the next one, or through Chapter 13. So you can if you don't want to do one chapter at a time, because you should always review the past words. So this gives you a chance to review all of the words that we've had, all the vocabulary words that we've had through chapter 10. We've had 54 words. And that includes verbs as well as nouns and adjectives, etc. So all of that is tools. There are ways for you to continue to review and learn as you go. This is so important. You've got to keep up on your vocabulary. Don't learn it once and forget it. Learn it over and over and over again. You can never review too many times as far as vocabulary is concerned. The more vocabulary you learn, as we pointed out before, the faster you're going to read. You should have found by now that as we start reading the Hebrew, because you've got vocabulary words that you are familiar with in the Hebrew that we're reading, your reading goes faster than it did when you first started. And that's because you are looking at words, not at letters, in learning the pronunciation. So Quizlet is a great tool for doing that. It allows you to have fun with doing it, but it gives you many ways to learn and to practice what you've learned in terms of that. So this is Quizlet, and that's the main resource and that's available to you. But also, you're on every description page, there's a link to Google Docs, and it'll take you to this page, Yeshiva Handouts. And here I try and throw in PDFs and docs and JPEGs that might be extra helpful for that particular chapter, and they're done by chapter. So if you're in chapter 11, let's say, we'll go down here to chapter 11, and here's a handout for all verbs or perfect verb conjunction. So if you conjugations, chapter 11 review. So these are up here for you. So the way you would utilize this, and you don't have to have a Google Docs page, although I might recommend that because it makes it easier to save these to your particular page. But you can come here, double click on something. All right, so here's this, which takes you through the imperfect tense, and it also reviews the perfect tense for all of the verbs that we've had so far in these three categories. And you'll, as we go through the review, you'll learn what I mean by these three categories. So, but this is available to you as a printout. So the way you would do that is, I would advise you not to print it out from here directly necessarily, but to download it first, and then you can make changes if you want to. And when you click download, it'll open up then a link that you can add it to your own computer desktop, and you can rename it, or if you want to or not, doesn't matter. But once you've saved it onto your desktop, open that version and work with that version, so you're not accidentally changing anything. I don't think you can, but that's the safest way to do this. So all of the things, the PDFs and the docs and the JPEGs that are up here on the Google Docs page is available to you to use. So the review, again, in a text format, is going to show you all of the things that we will talk about when we get to talking about the Chapter 11 review. So you can go over it, you can print this out, you can look at it at your leisure, and see a lot of information that's there. Most of it's in your book, but this gives you another way. If you don't want to carry your book with you, you can carry just these sheets of review and spend any free time you have reviewing. All right, so all of that is under the Yeshiva Handouts page. The link is in the description section. So those are the two major ways that you can use some of the resources that I've made available to you to learn from the First Hebrew Primer. Please, please, please make sure that you have purchased the First Hebrew Primer book and that you are using that along with everything that we're doing in addition to it. All right, so once you've done that, that should help you stay with us and get ahead if you need to or want to or can, but at least to stay up with what we're doing here on Yeshiva B'nai Noach. So again, those are the resources that are available to you. If you have any questions, please email me, put a comment in the comment section. I will get back with you as quickly as I can. If you need more help than we can do in an email, we can talk about setting up an opportunity for a phone call or some other way to help you on a more personal basis. But generally speaking, we should be able to communicate by email or by the comments page for any questions that you have, any comments that you have, any corrections. There will be mistakes, I promise you. I will make mistakes. Remember that even though I'm teaching the class, I'm also a student, and I'm in the process of learning this material myself. So it's entirely possible there will be mistakes. I count on you to point them out so that you can help others and help myself to learn, and that's what this is about. That's why I don't charge for the classes, because we're learning this together. So hopefully this will be a benefit to you as we learn this incredible Hebrew language. So we'll start, as I said, next week probably. Next Sunday, we'll start with Chapter 11 review and get back into the swing of things as classes will continue for the second quarter for the first Hebrew primer. And I think that's all I have for now. Again, questions, be sure and let me know if you have them. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. Shalom.